Hello and welcome to the Yellow Shirt Podcast. I am your host, TXM-Tom Spoors. If you don't know who I am a variety gaming YouTuber. And I am here today, joined by the one and only DragonBlaze. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. And so on the Yellow Shirt Podcast, this is the podcast where we talk to the content creators about the content they create. And so today we're going to be talking about DragonBlaze. We're going to be talking to DragonBlaze about like his YouTube stuff, his Twitch stuff, and all the stuff in between. So I guess the first question I have is just for you to basically introduce yourself to everyone listening about the kind of content you create and where you create it and all that. If you just want to kind of have the floor.
Okay. My name is DragonBlaze on YouTube. My actual name is Andrew. I make Inazuma 11 content, also some Pokemon Unite. And I also do actually the same thing on like every single platform that I have, which is basically Twitch and YouTube. I mainly do Inazuma 11 on YouTube, and I kind of do like a combination of both on Twitch, and I even play some Smash as well and some other games on Twitch. I've been doing YouTube for about like I think 7 years or so. Yeah, I've been on YouTube for like a while. I started out with Pokemon. And then I think about, my goodness, maybe like a year, 4 or 3 ago, I started getting a lot of people like giving me a lot of attention regarding Inazuma 11. And I thought, wow, okay, well, this is very good stuff. And I like Inazuma 11 a lot. So let's go. So here we are.
So what got you to start making content in the first place? Like what was the initial trigger?
Okay, well, this is a story. This is a story. I've already been telling this one, but oh my God, I love this one. So, I started once again when I was about like 14, 15. So, the concept of my channel first was that it was going to be like a co-op channel. I was going to do it together with a friend of mine,
Okay.
like IRL. So, we had like in mind to do Pokemon content. But also probably some Inazuma 11 on the side. But we, like, for 100% knew, like, okay, Pokemon, that's easy. Inazuma 11, we'll try and find our way how to do that. So we had to find, like, a name that represented both of us. And because we wanted to have Pokemon on it, we decided on Pokemon. So I think we were, like, brainstorming, like, what's a good name? And then it was just like, okay, let's just do this. What is your favorite mon? What is mine? So his favorite mon at the time was Arcanine, and mine was Dragonite.
Okay.
Which is not my favorite mon at all anymore, but whatever. So then I literally just put DragonBlaze together, and bam, that was the name. So that is basically where it comes from, because I just wanted to make content because I just thought it's just fun, and I just want to do it together with a friend, but I don't want to edit.
Yeah.
So that is also why I wanted him to do it so that I could be like the person recording and then he could be the editor. But at the end of the day, like the idea just kind of like of us doing together like kind of watered away because we had the name and everything and the idea, but we never really executed it. So
Yeah.
at some point I made an account of Pokemon Showdown, which is once again like the place where I kind of like started in the Pokemon community regarding also YouTube. And I made the name already DragonBlaze on it. And then I added like the V2 because DragonBlaze was already taken. So I added a bit of like Inazuma 11 in it as well. And I wanted to at least use that so that I could, interact with people. And then just as time was going, I was just like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should just, like, I kind of want to try it then myself. And then I still know it. I was there in like this group chat or something, and I was just like, I wanted to already do it, but I was just scared. So I was just like, yo, guys, should I like start a YouTube channel? And literally only one person said sure. And then I started from there. And that was it. That was it. So yeah.
So your early content was very much Pokemon focused.
Yes, very, very Pokemon focused, but I tried to like throw in some random games that I really liked. So I did random emulator games like I think Metabots and Rayman and all other stuff just to see like, okay, how are people going to react on it? And I just want to have fun. So
Yeah. So what was the initial shift from Pokemon to Inazuma 11 then?
Well, I think I was already doing Pokemon for like a year or maybe two, and
Yeah.
I've done so many different projects already with Pokemon, and also like collabs and everything. So I thought, okay, well, Pokemon is pretty well established on my channel, and I've done so many other random things that were like fun, but it wasn't necessarily like any passions of mine. And
Mm.
I was at that time, I think I already was watching Chrono Stones at the time of Inazuma 11, and I just thought to myself like, hey, Firestorm exists, and I've not played that game in a while, so I was just like, you know what? Let me just play that on my channel. Like, Inazuma 11 is actually something that is, not Rayman or Metabus that I actually think is a lot of fun and that I have so much passion for, and I was just like, okay, let's just do that, and the first series just popped off so hard, like, and I just didn't understand because I was just like, huh, like, my channel was like not always booming, and then out of nowhere, regarding Inazuma 11, it is, and then I found out that so many people who like Pokemon also liked Inazuma 11, or would attract people who like Inazuma 11, and because like I found out that I had some sort of whatever niche, I guess I could say, that I was doing Inazuma 11 in English, because I think at that time Shad was also gone, so I was like kind of one of the only people, besides maybe one person called Cashin Arms, who's also now gone, who also was called Hi, my name Faris later. But I was kind of like one of the only people, and then as well, I'm Dutch. So some people would like hear my accent and then just be like, "Hey, are you Dutch?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then that would come together because a lot of people in the Netherlands actually like Inazuma 11 too. So that is also something that I found out. And like that whole combination and like the attention that I got, and like everyone just wanted to see it, and I was just like, "Okay, sure." So I even invested into an Elgato, and that investment, wow, that was one of the best investments that I've ever done in for my YouTube career, because so many people just love that, and yeah, I brought Strikers content and still do, and it's a lot of fun.
So why now? Because I feel like now in the community, in the Instagram community, you have like obviously like Tail the Toaster doing the big DS games, and then you have you, who's kind of like, I guess, the king of the Strikers games.
Yeah.
So why did you like choose to go down that route of doing particularly Strikers games?
Well, it's quite simple actually, because my PC is trash and I just could not do anything else besides that. The funniest thing is that my older PC was able to actually handle games on emulator like Firestorm, but my new gaming PC just fails to do so. So it was just so weird for me to like have that transition of like having the emulator and then only being able to use the Elgato because that just worked.
Yeah.
So it's actually just that. So many people have been spamming me and telling me like, Andrew, please play the DS games, play the 3DS games, and I'm just like, guys, I wish, but like my PC is a potato. Like it's just like I can only bring you guys like freaking Elgato gameplay of my back then Wii U, and now it's like the Wii itself, which is also pretty interesting because at first I had my own Wii U that I would, because you can play Wii games on the Wii U.
Yeah.
I would use that to connect to the Elgato, and then that would work. So that was like my English Striker gameplay. But at some point, my Wii U was like too full, and I couldn't put anything on it anymore. It was like a really weird situation, but basically I could not use it anymore. So I actually went to my friend who I was supposed to do it with. His name is Chris. And I was just like, dude, can you please fix my Wii U? And I was just like, nah, dude, it's done. But I'll just give you my Wii U. So he was still actually part of my channel without actually like how it was supposed to go. So I got his Wii U and I was still able to actually have the Strikers gameplay that I wanted. And then after that, when people really wanted to see Strikers 2013, and I was just like, PC still potato, cannot do it.
Yeah.
I remembered that this same friend of mine also has a Wii with the homebrew channel on it with Strikers 2013. So it was just like, wait a minute, I can still make the content actually. It's just only on the console itself. So yeah, Chris is still actually like a part of DragonBlaze, but just like in a different way. So yeah, that is kind of like how that transition was actually able to be done, and how my
Yeah.
content actually was able to like be the way it is right now. So
Yeah, because right now
yeah,
your content's very like it's focused on particularly Ghost Strikers 2013.
yeah, yeah.
And so like I guess the question now is that actually your favorite like Inazuma 11 game, or is that just the one that now you've said that that's the one you have to like, well, I guess not have to, but that's the one you like can only really make content on. Is that why
Yeah.
you do it for that, or is it like is it because that's genuinely your favorite one?
It's like a combination of both, actually, because I think that 2011 was first like so much fun to play,
Mm.
and I was so looking forward to actually being able to play 2013, especially online,
Yeah.
which I'm able to now. Once again, thanks to Chris, so that's hilarious. But 2013 is like such a fun game to me, and it has so much replay value as well. But I do have to say that games like the Go games, especially, I like those ones a lot. And I wish that I could play those as well. But once again, PC potato, and I just don't have the money to get myself like a capture card for my 3DS. So it's just kind of like a money issue all the time. But I am quite okay with playing 2013 for now. So yeah,
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
kind of
I think like I know for a fact you have your reputation of being like an absolute Go One defender.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yes,
I'm curious
it
to
is.
hear about that. I'm curious to hear about that.
Okay, well, I hear a lot of people actually say that Go One, like, it's kind of split, because I feel like a lot of people do recognize that Go has like Go One specifically has like a really good story. Once again, it has the best story in my opinion.
Okay.
It's because it is so it's good to follow. It's easy to follow. It makes sense. There's a lot of stuff happening. It's not chaotic and convoluted with a lot of stuff where you just like okay, whatever, like there are other seasons that are like that. I've talked about them so much, I don't think I have to name it right now, but Go One just and once again, also I love Tenma absolutely. Like I also think that Tenma's like the best protagonist, so that's just like there's so much stuff that comes with Go One. Like once again, the characters very good. There's a lot of character development with the main characters and the main team. The entirety of the story is not just we have a tournament and we just kind of like go through it. No, there is like a reason as to why you have to win the tournament. There are consequences to actually not winning the tournament, big consequences, and the consequences to you actually winning are so big and so revolutionary. Like it is such a beautiful season in my opinion. I absolutely love it, and they're like the whole machines and everything. Even though people say that they're absolutely broken,
Mm.
which I do absolutely understand. I think that the power level in Go, like of course, like in Go Gronostone is like even more over the top. But like
Yeah.
for a tournament for just the middle schoolers, like the whole machines and everything is like huge. But in my opinion, it makes Inazuma 11 like perfect. It's just so spot on with that. It's like that extra. It's like that extra like superpower-ish thing, but still just like within that realm where I'm just like, okay, yeah, now it's still cool. Now it's still fine. And I think the explanation for it is like absolutely beautiful, like manifestation of the passion, of the energy. Like, sorry, but I'm like all down for that. Like, I'm so down for all of that. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Oh, and it brought back older characters,
Mm.
and did them justice. I thought it like nearly every single character that was in like the previous seasons who came back, like they did so much, and it was so cool. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And Temma is your favorite character.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite characters. Like I still like it's actually Tenma and Kazamaru together, because like
Mm.
I just can't really choose between them. But I love them both. Like they're so amazing.
Why Temma? Because for me, I didn't realize there were actually people like who like Temma. I didn't realize that was like a thing.
Hmm.
I thought it was like an extinct race or something.
Oh
And like, so I'm surprised. So I'm intrigued to
yeah.
hear your reasons for that.
Okay, well, basically, it is like quite interesting, because I think that Tenma is a character who, from the outside, doesn't look impressive at all. Like I look at his design and I like his design a lot, but when you look at his mannerisms and at his like the way he speaks and everything, he is you can just catch him that he's like quite young. Like if you look at all the protagonists, you can feel like he is probably the youngest out of them all. But I feel that for how the way that he speaks and the way that he acts sometimes, but then in contrast with what he does, it is absolutely insane. Like not even like the whole machines and whatever. It's just like his conviction and his passion and just the way that he is maneuvering himself throughout the season, because he basically, regardless of how people like look at him like you're trash, you're a loser, you're this, you're that, why do you try to go against a revolution, you cannot do anything, or why do you try to go against the system, the fact that he goes against the system by not like deliberately like thinking, oh okay, like I'm going to destroy the system, I'm going to take it down, he literally saying, I think what we're doing is not okay, I think this is wrong, and that's why I'm going to do what I think is right and move through that. And as he does that, he creates an entire momentum for his team, for like the entirety of the country, basically, regarding soccer. And I think that is so intensely amazing about the character. Like he just like his whole theme is winged, right? Like in every single one of his moves until we get to grow somewhere. Like, but the thing is that throughout this season, he's also being portrayed and being literally called like the revolutionary wind, because he changes so much stuff. Like he changes the character's perspective on situations. He changes how the situation goes, because he literally is just like, well, I don't want the soccer club to be disbanded first, so I'm gonna go against Tsurugi, who is like at that stage like 10 times better than he is, and he gets outplayed. He gets like destroyed all the time. I loved it that he was absolutely terrible at the start, but I could sympathize with him because he just wasn't perfect, but he's doing his best. That's one of the biggest things about him. Like watching him do his best and putting in work and actually slowly but surely reaching his goals as he is still portrayed as not perfect at all, but just still trying and improving, and you can follow his progress. Oh, it's so beautiful to look at. That's the development that you want to see in a character. I was rooting for him the entirety of Go. I thought it was so much fun to look at him, and the way that he moves other characters like Shinsuke, who's also new, who goes against the system, and it's just like, I'm just also going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to tell anyone what they should do, but I'm going to do what I want. Yeah. So whatever the consequences are going to be, I'll take them. Like, that's okay. And throughout that, once again, they created an entire revolution. Beautiful. Love the character. Love him.
That's really interesting. I never really thought of him as like, because obviously the whole like revolutionary wind and all that. It's obvious when you think about it, but I've also never really thought about it before. But that's really interesting. That's really interesting. And like, you make a lot of videos which are kind of like what you were just doing there, like ranting about something you like in it, or something you'd like or don't like in Inazuma 11. So like, where did the idea for those come about?
Okay, this started with one specific video, and I think this was like my my Shadows Miss Potential video. That video started it all. I think just one day I was because at the time I played so much Strikers, and in my opinion, Shadow is the best defender in that game. Shadow is absolutely insane in Strikers 2011, but I played him, and I was just like, dude, this character is so cool. His design is fantastic. When I saw him in Season 2, I was like, yo, is this character becoming a thing? Then he wasn't. Then in Season 3, I saw him in, like, the first few episodes, and I saw that he was, trying out for the national team, and I was just like, yo, is this character becoming a thing? It wasn't. So with all of that, I was just like, damn, like, there's so much missed potential right there, whatever. And then in contrast, as you look at him in Strikers 2011, where he is so good, I was just like, guys, he couldn't be so cool in the anime. Like, that is just what I was thinking. So I made a video about it just to like say that, because I just needed to get the word out. I was just like, yo, like, we need to, like, can we talk about Shadow real quick? Like, I don't see a lot of people talking about him.
Yeah.
So I was just like, let me just do that. But like, that video was so well received. Like, so many people were just like, yeah, like, I agree, and yes, blah blah blah. Like, they were just all going in. And then I thought, wow, like like, apparently me just ranting on about something is just working. Like, let's do it again. And then I talked about more different topics. I asked about, like, yo, what kind of topic do I need to talk about? So I talked about, like, what if Alfred stayed on the team in season 2? Or what if Ibuki never joined? All of that stuff. And like, people just really liked it whenever I would just talk about the anime specific things in Inazuma 11. And I thought, wow, well, rents are working out. Let's continue on. And that's just kind of what it was.
Yeah, okay, I like that a lot. And like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't seen too many of them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're mostly recorded while you're live streaming on Twitch.
No. Actually, in the past, I used to like just record my voice, and then I'd get like Strikers gameplay, and then I just throw it over, and that's it.
Yeah.
And there are some, not necessarily, like, there's some rants, that I have done while streaming, but it is like that is super spontaneous. That is like, I just talk about something, and out of nowhere, I just rant on stream. And then I'm just like, okay, well, let me just upload that one. I think there was one where I talked about how it would be really cool if you would have like Orion craziness of whatever will be happening, but in a Go environment. So I made one about that, where, you know, like, there's so much random stuff in Orion where it's just like, whoa, this ridiculous 4-man moves and stuff like that. And I would just rant on about like Kashin fusion with like 4, or like Kashin block moves and also good block shots, all of that stuff. So that is just like out of nowhere spontaneous. It comes to me on stream, then I just upload it. But yeah, usually if I have a rant, I just grab my voice, gameplay, put together, and that's it.
Nice. Okay. And like, in terms of streaming on Twitch, how did that come about? How did you start doing that?
I think I started with streaming on Twitch about like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and then I actually started on YouTube. I had a Twitch at the time, but I didn't really use it. I used it mostly for like games that were not my main games, but even then I didn't really stream too much. My PC at that time as well was kind of whatever. Like, even though it's like the same PC, but like now it has been cleaned up more and whatever. But back in the day, like the biggest joke would always be that I would be streaming, but for how long? Because my PC could just crash. So that was always something very painful. But I still stream because I thought I just want to try it out, because I found other people, you know, streaming around me as well.
Yeah.
And then I had like a bit of a hiatus because of school and other things. So I wasn't like doing anything on YouTube or Twitch for like 1.5 years. And then I think last year's summer, Oh no, this is hilarious. Okay, so I had like everything like set up on my OBS, and I also downloaded OBS just because I just wanted to only record. So, but the thing is that like the recording button and the streaming button are like, you know, under each other. So one day when I was recording, like I was doing like a mass recording of, I think, Inazuma 11 Strikers, of my 2013 gameplay or my playthrough, but I on accident clicked on stream. So I was streaming at some point. I deleted everything. Nobody can find this. But I was streaming for hours on end without me even knowing. Like at some point I was even done with recording. So you could actually hear like the videos that I was watching, the food that I was eating. Like, it was so messy. Like, when I found out, because the biggest thing about this is I found out that I was streaming because I think I just closed OBS at some point, as I just noticed, like, oh, okay, well, it's open. But I never noticed that I was streaming until I woke up the next day and I got an email from Twitch saying, your stream summary is ready. And then I was just like, huh? Wait. And then I found out I streamed. And then I thought, wait a minute, my PC can actually stream. And from that point on, I started streaming more, and I was just like, okay, let's throw this Inazuma 11 gameplay on Twitch as well. Let's do some Smash. So that is how it actually really came together. If I actually did not by accident stream, I probably would have streamed way later.
Yeah. Yo, that is so funny. Yeah. So why bring Smash into it as well?
The thing is that I actually already brought Smash to my channel before, and it did it actually didn't really do that bad. It was just that I was more in a time where I played Smash like super frequently, and I had like a very close group of mine that I played Smash with. So I thought, okay, let me just upload like most of the stuff that I do, and like Smash was getting like way bigger as well in the Pokemon community. So I was just like, okay, let me just branch out and do this as well. But yeah, later on, I was still playing Smash, but just not uploading at the time or doing streams. And then I just thought to myself, like, you know what? I just want to play Smash again, just because, I mean, I have the game available, and I have a, I have a Elgato and a Switch. And I just kind of wanted to show off that I still am playing this game and that I'm still like destroying people here with like my characters. So yeah, that's just kind of like the way it was. It was just like, okay, let me just get back to the things that I was doing again. So Pokemon kind of joined there a bit. Inazuma 11, of course, in Smash.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Who do you main in Smash?
Robin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a big Fire Emblem fan, so I can vibe with that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know it's a scandal, I know, but I've actually not played Awakening. I've not. I know it's a scandal, but I played Robin. Yes, I've tried. Like first off, I never actually got to actually getting the game. Also because like usually I don't have too much money, so
yeah.
And the emulator doesn't work on my PC once again because it's a potato. So it's just I'm always like in between of I just want to really play the game, but I just don't necessarily have the resources for it. So but I was getting more into Fire Emblem actually kind of after Awakening. So I actually got Fates. So you know, like I've played that.
Decision.
Yeah, like I mean I like the game though, but and I also play Corrin, funny enough. Like the most played character besides Robin is actually Corrin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still need to play Awakening. I know it's a scandal, but
I think it is. I only really got into Fire Emblem recently, so because obviously in the past, you know, because there's so many Fire Emblem characters in Smash.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, terrible thing, no more Fire Emblem characters in Smash, and now I'm like, love them. There needs to be more. We need even more.
Yes. Yes, like honestly, like there's so many people who like complain about Fire Emblem characters getting in, and I'm just like, I really could not care less. Like, just bring them on. Like, I even wanted like a Zoomer to join in Smash. I wanted a Lance user. I wanted a dancer. And like, bring it on.
Which Fire Emblem games have you played?
I've played. Oh yeah, funny enough, I also played the Game Boy Advance version. I think it's called Blazing Blade.
Yeah.
I've played that on my channel. Like a lot of episodes. Yeah. Like the game is kind of long too. I like the game.
They're all so long. It's like genuinely a financial investment anytime you play one on YouTube.
Yeah.
They're so long.
And there's like so many cool quests and everything. Like I think that game is really good.
Yeah.
I just never finished this, so I'm like, I don't know, like I'm the kind of person. Also, I've also not finished Fates. Like I kind of know how it ends, but like, but I have played 3 houses, and I have played like 1 full playthrough. Was Black Eagles fan, like Black Eagles.
Yo, okay.
And I have, because I was on hard mode, and then I think I had like the like lunatic or whatever run on Blue Lions. But I haven't finished that one because there's just one level though. It's after the time skip, this is not okay. Like there's so many things that I cannot just finish. So yeah, but I've played Fire Emblem, Blazing Blade, Fates, and Three Houses. And yeah, like the only one that needs to really be done is Awakening.
You need to play Awakening.
Yeah, honestly,
I don't
so
even
many.
think Awakening's the best. Like, I think Awakening's like pretty mid tier, but
Yeah.
you genuinely like. I think it's definitely the one that I would recommend to the most people because
Mhm.
like it is by far like the most accessible one.
Oh, okay, cool.
And also, if you main Robin, you have no
I
excuse.
know. The funniest thing is that in Smash 4 I also played Lucina, so it's just
No
like I
excuse.
like I played so many characters that were from Awakening or liked them so much, but I've never played it, and I know it's a scandal, but like I just never got to it. Like I just didn't.
Where's the Fire Emblem Awakening playthrough on the channel?
Oh my gosh, I hope I can ever bring it because that would be fun, but I need a better PC for that. Or like a 3DS capture card, but I think a PC would be better. So,
Yeah, in the
yeah.
long run, probably.
Yeah, in the long run,
But
yeah.
yo, either that or you finish your 7 Let's Play. One of the two.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
We need
Like that's
complete
just it.
Fire Emblem content on
Yeah,
Dragon
yeah,
Blaze
like for
YouTube channel.
real. For real. Like the I haven't even finished like Blazing Blade to be honest, and also Fates. Like I don't even know to how far. Okay, this is like my problem. Every time that I try to play Fates, like I just have this tendency of just putting it immediately on hard mode and then just playing. And I think there has been like one moment that I played it on normal and I was just like, nah, dude, I'm gonna speed through the game. It's over. Let me just hard mode. That's it. I want to have a hard time. I want to strategize, but then I just don't finish the game and then I'm done with it. So
Which
yeah.
fades? Which fades?
A Conquest.
Good, good, good.
I wasn't like the biggest fan of Birthright. I
Yeah.
thought the cover and everything and the characters were boring. So I
Yeah.
just wanted the spice of Conquest. And to be honest, I just have to say it.
Go on.
Camilla, Camilla, Camilla. Like when I saw that character, I was like, that's my sister. Yes. Yeah. That's gonna be it. Yeah, we're going. The starting scene and everything, the flying user, I was like, yeah, we're gonna have that on our team. And also I like the characters from Conquest War, so the
Yes.
characters that you get. So I was just like, yeah, Conquest is just a game. And I've never also played what's that game called? Like the other variant. It's like yeah,
Revelation.
um, it's like Fate. Yeah, Revelations. Yeah. So I've never played that one. I've seen a bit of it,
Don't
but
play it. Do yourself a favor and just
yeah.
just pretend it doesn't exist.
Like I couldn't even remember the name, so it's okay. Like it doesn't exist anymore. Who's Revelations?
I played them all in a row, like all the fates, and I beat Conquest, beat Birthright, got to Revelations, and was like, I can't do this to myself, and
Oh my
never
God.
put it aside, and never touched it again.
Yeah.
No, don't. It's not worth it.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
But so I guess the other game you're playing right now on your Twitch is Pokemon Unite.
Yes. I am actually like investing a lot into Pokemon Unite. I really like that game.
Yeah.
Like I have played both the betas before and I knew at the start, like when I played the first beta, I was just kind of doing my thing, but I was getting into higher ranks and I was just like, okay, what's going on? What's good? So I played the second beta and then I found out that there were some changes and stuff and I was still just like, but I really like this game. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna get into master rank and that's it. I'm just gonna do it. So like now it's like the DP grind for like about like a week or two. Um, and yeah, I'm just having like a lot of fun. Like somewhere also infuriation, but I mean lots of fun. So yeah.
Do you want to explain to anyone listening who doesn't know what Pokemon Unite is? Do you want to explain what it is?
Yeah, sure. So Pokemon Unite is basically a Pokemon MOBA. You can actually compare it a bit to League of Legends, but then with Pokemon. The goal of how to win the game is different than League though, because in League you have like basically matches are about what 40 minutes or something, and in Pokemon Unite, it's actually just the max of 10 minutes. It just cannot be longer than that. And the goal is to actually just capture points that you can get through wild mons or other objectives. And there are basically there are like these towers or these points that you can destroy with 100 points. And throughout that, you need to basically score more points than your opponent. And that's just kind of like the game. And throughout that, there are just like a lot of things in between that make it harder for you to score goals, or that there are, different roles and different lanes that you can go into. And yeah, that's just kind of like the game. It's like a lot of fun, and a lot of people are getting into it. Like, because I'm in the Smash scene as well, and in not necessarily in the Pokemon scene, but I still see tidbits of people there on Twitch. Like, I see like so many people coming together. Like, there are Smash players who play that game. There are Pokemon content creators who are playing that game. So I see like different worlds coming together, and it's like really cool. So yeah, me with the background of Pokemon and like actually being in the Smash community, like I love that game. So yeah.
Yeah. Who do you, now the question is, who do you main in Pokemon Unite?
Oh, that's interesting. I play Alola Ninetales, Garchomp,
Yeah.
Snorlax,
Yo.
Zeraora, and I also picked up Cinderace. It's like really, it's kind of a thing that this game, whenever you like want to queue up, sometimes people would just get your character, and there is no other interaction that you really can have. You cannot say like, yo, can I maybe have this character or whatever? Like, I don't do the voice chat thing. I don't even know if that's really available. So you basically, like, I'm always forced to like learn other characters. And if I'm like, stuck with ranks or whatever, then I try out a different character. And sometimes it really works out, and I carry games, and I have like win streaks and everything. So I have like different characters that I just learn. And because in the betas, I primarily played only Alola Ninetales and Garchomp. And in the beta, just Snorlax is like so good. Like, he's the best tank in the game. And the Zeraora came out, and he just destroys people in mid. And Cinderace got super buffed. But actually Loki got nerfed as well, like in the next upcoming patch. So maybe we're not becoming Cinderace mains anymore, but Venusaur got buffed. So maybe we're becoming Venusaur mains out here. But we have to see how it goes. But yeah, that's why I play like so many characters. But the characters I think I actually do play the most are Alola Ninetales, Zeraora, and Snorlax. That is like actually the bigger picture.
Yeah. And so how have you been taking Pokemon Unite and putting it into like content? How have you been doing that?
Well, at first, I started with my prior knowledge on the game before the game actually came out. So that was also kind of interesting because I wanted to just put out there what I thought was, like the tier list. Also because I found like a random tier list on the internet, and I was just like, this is messy. So I'm gonna just talk about this. So I made a video on it, and it got like, it got a lot of attention. And I was like, okay, well, let's make another video about like, the next upcoming character, which was Zeraora at the time. And I just thought like, okay, well, a lot of people are invested into this because I see that there is, there is attention going to it. And I made like a channel on my Discord as well. And people were talking about the game as well. Then the game came out. And I immediately started playing it day one. And people were coming to the stream. People said they were also playing the game. And I was just like, yeah, okay, this is some good stuff. Okay, let's keep it up. So I even recorded a video on Pokemon Unite today on like the nerfs. So that was actually rendering earlier. So it's done. So I'm going to upload that one. So yeah, I'm keeping myself up to date with everything that is happening in Pokemon Unite. And yeah, I'm probably just going to upload like different gameplay of me doing whatever what I have on Twitch, and then just putting on YouTube.
How long do you see Pokemon Unite lasting?
Honestly, if they just update the game periodically, and they give it attention, and they keep on improving on it, I really do feel like this game can yeah, it can last a very long time, like a very long time, because there are just so many content creators who are on this, and also from like different branches from like Nintendo. So once again, I'm like in a part of the Smash community, and I recognize some people from the Pokemon community who are doing this. And a lot of people are saying that they're just having a lot of fun with the game. Granted, it's only week 2, but I do feel like as they do try and listen to the viewership, to the community, because they even, I think, put something on Twitter where they were just like, hey, let us know, what you think of the game, let us improve on it. And they have done a lot of stuff, I think, especially with the nerfs, that I think the community really wanted. So I feel like, okay, they're listening to the community. That's a very, very important thing. The game can, last a very long time if they just keep this up, because it's just very fun. And of course, we're in the first stages of the game, but at the moment, a lot of people are enjoying it. A lot of people are enjoying.
So what about the fact that, so obviously I think some of the biggest discourse about this game has been whether or not it's pay to win. I'm curious what your opinions are on that.
My opinion on it actually is that I feel like it is not pay to win, but it kind of like, it just depends on where you are, I guess, and how you play the game. Because if you play the game, in my opinion, if you play the game solo, which I, for the most part, actually play the game solo, the game can be very infuriating at times, as you will play against lots of other people who have the game, but play in stacks. And that is kind of as well how the game is like mostly played as well in higher ranks. People are just in 5 stacks coordinated, and they will do a lot of stuff that just won't happen if you are not in a stack. They do like all of these coordinated plays where it's just like, whoa, okay, what's going on? And I feel like that also, like you lose after that, and then it gets difficult to like, also climb up then, because you might, get into like a lot of matches where you're going to play against these people. And that combined as well with some people having like, some level 30 items. Like I'm always a person who's just like, I'm always looking for what I can do, instead of like what people always say, like, oh, well, people have level 30 items, it's broken, and I cannot do anything about it. Well, in that case, I'm just thinking like, okay, well, stay in the lower ranks or just play casual, because I feel like that's just not really the competitive mindset, really. And I've heard a lot of other people who are just master rank players who did not, do any pay-to-win strategies, who are just very good at the game. They're just very good at the game, and they just say, like, I feel like you can just get into higher ranks if you have some game knowledge, and you just do your best. And I feel like that's just also the same thing, even though I'm not a master rank player myself. I get into a lot of situations where I'm just like, I'm sorry, but like if my team just was smarter, we could do a lot more. Like I could do a lot more. Like everyone could do a lot more. But you just see that Pokemon Unite is also people's first MOBA.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just don't necessarily know how to like have good distance, how to manage cooldowns. So it's just very like annoying and infuriating for a lot of people, like sometimes including me, that you're just playing with someone and they're just inting, which is just dying and just doing whatever. But I think that the whole money aspect of it can contribute to like you becoming better, but you can still outplay people. So
yeah,
I feel like it's just the way you play the game and the way you view it. I'm okay with the state of the game right now.
Yeah. What's your history with MOBAs then?
I've played League of Legends actually myself. Like I haven't played. I'm not like a hardcore League of Legends player. I've never been that. Like I've just played the game as a support, literally with like mostly one character, because in most team games, like I play lots of Overwatch. I play support, so I like play healers usually.
Yeah.
And I would just have friends to play the game with. And that is just kind of like the way how like my history. Like I used to play like lots of League with friends, that is. And yeah, I just knew, okay, well, if you just keep your distance and you know when to go in, and if I'm the healer, I just know how to manage my heals and stuff like that. Like you can do a lot. You can do a lot. Just don't die. Like that's also one of the biggest things. You're like, just don't die. Don't give up levels. Don't feed. Don't feed. And then you can manage.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, okay. Out of curiosity, have you ever included League of Legends into your like content at all, or has that been very separate?
No, and that's like there's a big reason for that because I just don't have any friends that play League
Yeah.
anymore. Like I used to once again play. I used to even play Smite as well, and I loved playing that game with friends. It was so much fun. But the thing with those games is that sometimes you play with people that you can't coordinate with, and then it's just like, oh my god, what is he doing? He's dying. Okay, and I need to heal. Oh, he's dead. So you're just always in like positions where it's just like the game becomes like less fun. And even if I'm there with friends and they're trash and we're dying, it's still just like you can make fun of it. You can laugh at it, and you can still have a better time than just not having friends at all. And then you play the game and it's just kind of like, well, this is not going well. This is not going blah 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 blah. So that's why I didn't include it, and also I don't think my PC can handle it. So, so it like all comes together. Like I tried to play Overwatch once on stream, and it was just all like laggy and everything, and I was just like, okay, well, we're not doing that ever again until I got you guessed it, new PC. So yeah, that's kind of it.
Oh, okay, okay. So you're very limited by your PC in terms of what kind of stuff you can do.
Yeah, yeah. There's just have been so many things happening in my life where I just have different priorities.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I just have to I just have to manage with what I'm getting. And I'm at the moment investing through Twitch, what I'm getting through Twitch and what I'm getting through YouTube. Just kind of like trying accumulating it, and then once I have it after a while, then I can get it. So yeah. So that's kind of what we're waiting on.
If you get a new PC, or when you get a new PC, what will be the kind of stuff that will like be added to your content? Like what kind of other stuff will you be throwing in?
Oh, here we go. Because there is so much that I just wanted to add on.
Yeah.
First off, I would love to just on Twitch as well, just do so many things just regarding anything that's on the PC. I wanted to do Overwatch for such a long time, and then I'll be able to do Overwatch. I could play League, like that's the thing as well. I would be okay with just like playing League and just seeing like, okay, like how can it go? Maybe I can attract more people who can also play the game.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I could maybe look at my Steam library, see what's happening there. I could finally use Citra. Wow, like I can play Inazuma 11, Go, Stone, Galaxy. People have been screaming at me for years about Galaxy. I could play Inazuma 11 Strikers on PC, and then I can have the quality upgraded.
Yeah.
So that would be very nice. So that in itself is like huge already. That like I can add at least like 3 games to my Twitch, or maybe even 4, and then like the emulator content for Inazuma 11 Strikers and for like the Go games could also be added on. And then not to even talk about, I can play Awakening, so I mean that could all like drop, and then it's just all just by like one new improvement to my PC. So that is that's the dream, honestly. That's the dream.
Yeah. Okay. So would you like be bringing this? So when you bring this content onto like YouTube, would it be in the form of like, for instance, if for the Go games, would it be in the form of Let's Plays, or would you like play it on stream and do stream highlights? Like how would that go?
I would probably do Let's Plays, but it could be kind of like whatever. I could do Let's Play of it, or maybe I could play through it on stream and then just upload it like that. Like it just kind of like depends on what people want me to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm down for anything. Like I played Inazuma 11 Go 2013. I played that first as a playthrough, and I can just pre-record for hours, and I am still fine. But I've also played like actually your variant. I played like the Nuzlocke thing on stream, and I was having a good time too. And I can just play through like an entire game, and I'm just fine. So yeah, it's just kind of like what people want, and I'll just try and bring that. And if people don't care about what I specifically do, then I'll just choose myself. So yeah, that's it.
How did the Nuzlocke go, by the way?
It went very well. Like oh my gosh, like now that you're asking that, I hope that I have, because I had like this, what's it called? This notebook where I wrote down who died.
Okay.
And I had like such a strong team though. Like it was kind of like a meme team as well because there were just so many random characters in it that I would never use. I cannot find it unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have actually named everyone. But I know for sure that Tenma was still on my team.
Yeah.
Hayami was on my team. And I think honestly the rest of my Go team just died. Like I think Kurumada was still there or something, but yeah, like a lot of characters I lost there. But it was so much fun. It was interesting to like get creative with certain teams. But yeah, that it was a lot of the times like I'm destroying them with like 11 or 15 points, and then they would like score maybe 1 goal or 2 goals,
Yeah.
and then like, oh okay, whatever, losing someone. Yeah.
I know when you came to me about doing it, my fear was that it would be a lot less entertaining for you because, quite frankly, you're much better at the game than I am. So for me, part of the novelty was the fact that it was genuinely wondering, would he actually win this match? Because, quite frankly, I'm very bad at the game.
Yeah.
And so, but it's good he's still had a good time regardless. Like, because I guess obviously the rules mean that a single goal is like against you. Like, no matter how much you're winning by, a single goal against you is still massive.
Yeah, like I also tried to make it more interesting, so I actually added on more rules so that so that it would be a bit more difficult for me because when I did look at it, I thought like, okay, like with my prior experience, maybe I should actually just make it more difficult. So I had it that it could not use items, so that means like also the stat boosting items and stuff like that. I could not go fire it up. If I did any of the mini games and I'd use a character and I'd lose with a character, I'd lose specifically that character as well.
Okay.
So for the while that I had this character, I would always use Kuruma for the mini games because I just did not care if I would lose Kuruma. And if Harvey is watching, I'm sorry, but anyways, that I had like that rule. And I think I also had it that I had to go through like world 1 to 3 then, because otherwise I'd be getting like Keshin characters at the start and then would just destroy everyone. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was like, oh yeah, every character that I had obtained, I had to use them in the next match regardless. So I tried to make it more interesting like that. But yeah, I still destroyed everyone. So it was fun. It was a good experience. It was a good stream series.
I think you'll have to do another one at some point where you just make it even harder. Like, I don't even know what other rules you could even add at that point.
Yeah, me too. Like some people actually said like you cannot use specials, but I know how to do normal shots, so that's whatever. Yeah. And then some other people specifically because when I was training for normal shots, I just only did them, and then it was still like 11-0. Then some people were just like, okay, then no normal shots, and then I was like, guys, you understand that I can just spam the goalkeeper, right? So it was so like, what is it specifically gonna be? But yeah, I'd be trying out, I guess, like another rule or whatever later on. Like it can be more difficult, but you just gotta see.
So I guess my next question would be essentially, what do you see as the future of DragonBlaze? Like, what kind of stuff do you want to do in the future?
Well, definitely the stuff that I've already said. So just get a new PC. I'm planning to get to like 5K before the end of 2021. So
yeah,
this is kind of like my goal. I want to have by that time also the new PC already. So also think like right now I actually am working, so we're getting this money out here, and hopefully we can get enough and we can save up so that we can get this new PC and stuff. And then Inazuma 11 Go content can finally hit at Citra Works. I can play what's it called, the PC games like Overwatch. I can play that, and so many like other things. So yeah, that is kind of like what I am planning for the channel, and definitely that, you know, a playthrough of any of the Go games is like dropping, and that I can play like good quality, or well, better quality 2013. I can put that on the channel as well, and also online. I've not done that too much. Like at the moment, I'm like in the World Cup, of course, but I want to bring online content also to my channel. So that is just kind of like what is planned for the future.
Yeah, we had so Pyroshad was on this podcast last week, and he talked about how online playing in Inazuma 11 was kind of, I guess, the thing holding it back. The fact it didn't have this online play back then. Do you agree with that statement?
I absolutely agree with it, especially regarding the 3DS games, because like the 3DS games are just so good regarding that you can customize everything.
Yeah.
Like you get, like if you wanted to, you could make Tenma like a goalkeeper with like all types of random moves on him, and you can mixy max him with, I don't know, Shindo. Like it's so random what you can do in that game. And I've seen some gameplay of like people playing online, and then you see like all of these different characters that I've like did not expect that people would use on their team. And if you would be able to do that online in the like actually online with that is actually a function of the game, then the game is like endless. It's the same thing as with Strikers 2013, as where it was still able to survive because people were able to like actually get it to play online. I thought it made sense to do that, but for some reason they just never did that, and I'm just like, why not? It's so good. Like, it's so good. So now with Citra, you can set it up, so that's amazing. So once again, if that would be a thing. Oh yeah, also, I forgot to even say this, but I want to host tournaments. I want to host tournaments for Strikers, for the Go games, for Smash. I want to do all of that. And once again, like the PC comes with that, but that is like really what I would also love to do. And if the online feature would be there, which it right now is, that's possible. So yeah.
Okay. Hosting tournaments, I think that sounds really, really cool, especially with this new edition. I think the new surge because of the World Cup of online Strikers play. Like people are really getting to see that that's an actual thing that they can do, which is really cool. So I was curious because obviously this online Surge Strikers play, it is happening now. And from watching the World Cup, I've seen that a lot of people use the same characters a lot of the time. And I was wondering what your thoughts are, I guess, on the meta. I don't know if that's the right word. The meta of Go Strikers. And whether or not you think it's... Because you were saying the 3DS games really encourage creativity. And do you think Strikers has a similar thing in terms of team building? Or not so?
Okay, well... I have to say at the start, when I found out what the meta was, and by the way, the meta is normal shots, deep jungle defenders, and chain shots. That's and mixy maxers. That is basically the meta. Oh yeah. And first Raymond Endel. It goes into the intricacies of the game regarding charging rates and for your Inazuma gauge and everything. And apparently first Raymond Endel has like the best one out of like so many other Endels, and he still has like a very high catch rate, like the same as like even adult Endel. So it's just so like it's so interesting. But basically the standard team is that Endel. Then you have Tobu, adult Sakuma, and adult Kazamaru. They are broken. They are absolutely ridiculous. Deep Jungle is so ridiculous in this game. And it's nearly a requirement to have that move. It's kind of crazy. Besides for adult Kazamaru, you have Airballet on him. Then you could have like another Deep Jungle user in Tsunami because he also has a shot. So you have him usually as the midfielder. Tenma, luckily, and obviously, it's broken.
Yeah.
Absolutely broken. And you have two variants of him, and he can mixy max to get basically one of the best co-op moves in the game. And then you have like other characters that you can just have. Like Endo Cannon is extremely strong. He like nearly scores against everyone basically. If you get a chain shot off with him.
Okay.
And Sonark is very good. Like that is basically the meta. I first thought, and I like somewhere I also kind of still think that it is, but deep jungle is basically required. And I think that's kind of lame because it's basically says, okay, your defense, it is at least adult Sakuma and Tobu, and then I guess you can choose, but. There probably is going to be like an adult Kazamaru there, or maybe young Kazamaru. Like it is basically for the aesthetic, I think. And then you're going to have a Tenma. I nearly don't see any other team without a Tenma. Tayo is broken. Like that's also a thing. When he mixy maxes, he gets one of the best dribbles in the game, probably like if not the best dribble. And dribbling is also so strong in the game. Like when I got into the competitive scene, I found out how annoying mixing maxing actually is and how annoying dribbling is. Because like dribbling gives you like, it makes you invincible, let's say for a period of time, and the only thing that stops you is getting sliding tackled. So if someone wants to try and block you or try to tackle you, that just doesn't work on him for a short period of time. And they can do so much out of that. They can dash into the goal, they can set up for more, and for other mixy max characters, they can create so much momentum, and it's really like, if it's you who's doing that, it feels fantastic. If it's happening to you, it feels very broken. So
Yes.
I think that the meta being around a lot of the same characters is just it makes it very, like, I don't know, it makes it sometimes kind of boring to watch, at least regarding the characters, because also I think it's interesting that like unexpected characters are very strong. Like for example, there is this white-haired guy from like Go Hakuren who has like the machine gun beat Kishin, and he is broken. Like he's unbelievable, but like is he really? But he's so strong in this game. He is so damn strong. And one of the high duplies from Asta's team, I don't even know what his name is, but he like has, I guess, long hair or something, and has like all the lead and big scissors, and people don't even use his shot, but he is one of the better characters in the game. Like you can dash into the goal easily with him, and you can set up so much situations with him. Like, oh my god, that's a dog. Hold up. The dog coming in as he's hearing about all these broken characters. I understand. But the thing is that like, because these characters are just so strong, like so many people have them on their team, and it makes teams very similar to each other. Even the bench players, like a lot of the people have the same bench players, like Kinako and Kirino, and they don't even use them as defenders. They are one of the most annoying midfielders to actually face, because their range whenever they mixy max is huge. If they try and use block moves, and mixy maxing in general, I actually made a video on it. It does way too much. Way too much. Like the moment you press the mixy max buttons, you are doing already 3 things that are extremely dangerous in the game. So I'm just like, yeah, there is so much happening in this game where it's quite interesting to look at, because the normal approach for Inazuma 11 is just not this competitive scene at all. But as you use certain characters, that can be quite the same. So yeah, that's kind of what I think. I still think it's pretty freaking cool. But yeah, like you can actually be using like a lot of the same characters. Like I don't know. And then there's me, who's using Daniel Santini as goalkeeper. So yeah. Like who needs first Raven Endo, you know, like Santini that knows blocking everything. You got this.
So, do you think that the meta that is there, and the fact that you were saying, for instance, Deep Jungle needs to be used on everyone,
Yeah.
do you think that causes a risk of, despite the fact there is this surge of strikers online, do you think it has a risk of that becoming stale fast because everyone will be looking at these videos, and aside from occasional picks like Daniel Santini, which by the way, incredible choice, it has a risk of making it a bit stale and making a lot of the content seem very, very similar. Do you think that's quite, I guess, a risk? Yeah.
Mm, I do think that can have an effect for people, but I also have to say that I actually have not heard it as much as I actually would have maybe expected it to.
Yeah.
Not that I think like, oh, bash this, but I was just like, this is probably very noticeable to a lot of people. But I actually don't really hear it too often. And like as I'm playing my games, like a lot of people are just kind of like only commenting on, yeah, win, this and that. And whenever other people are watching others, they're not necessarily talking about the characters. I think that the community for Strikers 2013 is very aware of the fact that there are just certain characters that are just required, and that it's just not a problem if you use them. I think that for people who are getting into it, it is maybe going to be something that you need to like get used to. But I mean, in every single game that is played competitive, you see mons or for me, because I'm playing Pokemon Unite, or characters that are very strong and that are very prevalent because they're very strong.
Yeah.
And I guess people just respect that, even though like certain teams will be looking sometimes the same. Like, for example, for me, I think that the entirety of the backline is like nearly identical for like everyone, because it's like first Raymond Endo and then like all these deep jungle defenders, and then from there on you can kind of like mix it up a bit. But I think that most people are okay with it. And yeah, I think somewhere that's also really, really cool. Yeah.
Okay.
That people chill with that.
Because I know my frame of reference is Pokemon VGC, where I remember there's a lot of like, funny memers who will like look at the fact that in the World Championships and that, a lot of the teams, I think especially in 2016, I think it was really prevalent when they introduced legendaries. True. Like a lot of the teams look the same.
Yeah, and I've actually kind of been there when that was also pretty big. I know that a lot of people were just like, oh, Mega Kangaskhan everywhere, or Kyogre everywhere, Groudon everywhere, all that stuff, and like Xerneas, Aegislash, all that stuff. And I was just like, good thing I'm not playing VGC, but yes, I do recognize that as well. It's just kind of like, some people, at least for the Pokemon community, but I've been there myself, and like a lot of people complain in the Pokemon community. It has to be said.
Yeah.
So like they were commenting on that a lot, and once again, I also do understand that. But I think that in the Inazuma 11 community, that is just, I just haven't seen it too often. I have to be honest, and I think it's also because like you're in this community yourself, and if you are not using like a certain like defense, it's gonna be like a lot harder.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I want to play the game. Like I want to be able to also defend. I want to be able to also do something. So people do play that, do use those characters, and other people are just fine with it. I think once again, if you just get into it, it's just like, oh, it's just deep jungle everywhere, and Endo, and okay, well, I guess that's cool, and lots of Mixie Maxes, lots of Tenma and Tayo, and so so I think that is that's the thing. Yeah.
But I guess that's what creates moments then, when we have someone like, for instance, you using Daniel Santini. It's what creates that like big community, like, whoa, what the hell's he doing?
Yeah, exactly.
That I think will definitely be used to like thrive, like, keep this like competitive scene going, and especially in content wise, if people keep doing crazy stuff like that.
Yeah. That honestly in itself was just so crazy. Because basically I used Santini because someone requested it, and like he was so adamant, and he like even donated for it, and I was just like, this is kind of crazy, unbelievable. I did not think he'd do it, but he did it. So then I had to do it. And the only thing that I knew was, and I have to be honest about this one, um, if there is something that maybe Canon does or any other wind element character, and I don't shot block it, it doesn't even matter because Endo wouldn't have stopped it anyway because Endo is also weak to wind. So the only thing that I knew was the only thing I can do is keep up the pressure, play very smart, just a very aggressive, make sure that he does not have a lot of opportunities to have ball control. And just make sure that I have the deep jungle defense. That is something that I still had. And Santini is like, defended. He is safe. And throughout that, I think I got like quadruple shot chained or something, and not even Endo would have stopped that. And then he used a normal shot on me and scored a goal. So it was just like, actually, in both those situations, Endo wouldn't even have done anything against that.
Yeah.
So it was just like, well, having Santini on is actually kind of cool. And he blocked 2 shots, I think, with the gas ball. So yeah, I was so happy about that, dude. Oh, I was muted, but I was screaming actually. So yeah. Oh, I was so happy. I was like, yes, Santini, put in the work. So yeah.
Do you have any other random like ideas for random players to use then?
Well, I've actually used at first I don't know what his name actually is, but he is from, I think in the Chronostone series, he is in a team called the White Deer or something.
Okay, yeah.
And he has a dribble machine, and I thought, because I saw him on like a tier list, and I think it was like an A or B tier character or whatever, and I was just like, he is different, I'm using him. And I used him, I think, in one match instead of Zanark, and then I think I lost that match, and then later on, I added Zanark back. But then I used Santini later on. And let me think. Like, I tried to have like my bench with like different characters, but I think I still kind of went with like the usual, like have a Kirino there, and I think another Tenma. Like I think that's also like so stupid. You can have 2 pairs of Tenma. That's so broken. But yeah, like Santini was just actually because it was like it was requested.
Yeah.
Like so. I'm not sure if I have like any other crazy ideas more, unless someone it's just like, well, I really want you to play, I don't know, Ichinose, and that's why, that would give me incentive. But other than that, I really just try to do my best, because I have to be honest, like I can annihilate like CPUs, but against like real people, like there are so many different situations that I just need to get used to.
Yeah.
And I just want to, like, that's kind of like what I wanted to do right now. I wanted to play with like the good characters at least, up until like I understand, okay, well, these are the situations that I can get into. And for example, with Endo, I knew, okay, as long as I keep up the pressure and everything, he can actually be replaced with Santini. So I'm trying to slowly but surely actually do this. And I think even at the start, I actually tried to use like a way different variant of the Deep Jungle characters. Like I used Royal Redux Sakuma instead of Adult Sakuma, who has trash block stats. And I used Dark Emperor form, Kazamaru, and then I think just a normal Tobu. But yeah, it's didn't work out. So I was just like, yeah, let me just, hey, I don't Kazamaru. So anyways, so yeah, I'm just kind of like trying to get used to the game and the pace online. Yeah. And then slowly but surely, I want to use different characters. I like, have like really, like different teams. So yeah.
Is this like your first proper foray into competitive strikers then, this World Cup?
Yes, it is, because I used to play Inazuma 11 strikers like with my friends IRL.
Yeah.
And that was like the 2011 version, and then we went to 2013, and then I used to always destroy them. And I know as well, like I think at some point I like went with like a team of only small characters, and I still won against them where they have like so many good characters, and I was just like, yeah, okay. Anyway, so then we went to 2013, and then I found out more about how Miximax characters can actually be super annoying to fight against. So then I found out that, my friends would immediately Miximax like at the start. And I first thought like, okay, why would you do that? And then I found out like how broken Miximaxing is and how much it can like create tempo for the game.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like it wasn't like my full experience against like so many different people, because like I only had experience against like 2 people. But going online, so first off, it's online now, so you have like a bit of like lag at
Mm.
times, but it's not like super influential. But now also so many different ways that people are scoring, because I did not know about normal shooting at all. Like for me, it was just try to get catch in the arm shot and hope for the best, you know. But now people are doing like the craziest ways of getting a normal shot, like avoiding goalkeepers, like shooting at the goal, and then someone else does like a volley or something, and it just goes in while your goalkeeper just is on the ground. It's just like what? And people even scoring from like corner shots as well. Like it's just yes, like there are so many different ways. That's something I did not know. There are so many different ways of actually getting a goal that is not in Hisatsu, and that is also the most reliable way to score. That's the crazy thing about it. Like you use dribbles and blocks for creating control and getting momentum, and then you actually just do normal shots, and that's just the better way to actually get a goal. So that's crazy. That's something. Yeah, that's something that I really had to understand, because normally you would think, oh, a character has no ability to use a shot at the moment, and he's just charging at the goal. What can he do? Well, you can just dash away from your goalkeeper, who tries to catch the ball, who is in lag of the animation of trying to get it, did not get the ball, and the dude dashes into the goal, and that's it. And then he just scores. And it can literally just happen in like 3 in-game minutes. It's like, what? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yo, that's mad. I know I was seeing like there's like some 15-0 wins and that in the World Cup.
Yeah, Japan is kind of crazy.
yeah, that seems quite scary. I mean, good luck, mate. Good luck is all I'm gonna say.
I think I gotta play against, I think, Brazil. I'm not sure. Like I have to play against a team.
Yeah.
Together with the others, but we're gonna do our best. Yeah.
Oh, good luck. Good luck against Brazil then. Do you know when that game is?
No, I actually don't. I have to be honest. Even before like the whole World Cup started, I was having so much trouble getting the Wi-Fi to work, because like you have to do it like through this Weamify and whatever, and like do different stuff with files, and I am just not about that. Like honestly, regarding technology, at times you could say that I would even be 85, because like sometimes I just don't know how that stuff works. So I went to my friend. I tried to let it work with him. He couldn't do it. Then I had to ask so many other people to make it work. And then that was around the time that we were nearly starting. Yes. And there was even a time that we actually were starting with the World Cup. And I was just sitting there like, okay, guys, like it's not working. I really don't care. Like I didn't know about who we were facing off against and everything. But then at some point it did work. And then I was just planning to have a few matches. So that's kind of like the way I am going through this tournament. People just say, you're planned in. Can you do it like around this time? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I just play. Like that's just kind of it. Like, I don't really keep up too much.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it.
Oh well, good luck. I believe in you. You got this. All right. Thank you so much for coming on. I think we'll wrap up there. Thank you so much.
Well, and thank you for inviting me. Like this was such a blast. Like I had so much fun.
Good. Oh, I'm happy. Yeah. I'm going to give you the floor to quickly promote anything you want to promote. Just go wild.
Oh, okay. Guys, go follow me on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/DragonBlazeV2. I got a YouTube channel as well, DragonBlaze. And yeah, I'm trying to get once again to 5K before 2022. So if y'all want to get in there, and as well trying to get like this new PC, I guess. Like I think I'm around. I think because I want to get to like 700, and we're at the moment around 200. So we're getting close, so
yeah.
If you want to help a man's out. So anyway, that is mostly it. I also have a Twitter, which, I mean, I guess you could follow. It's like DragonBlaze V2 as well. And I also have a Discord where we talk about like so much stuff regarding Inazuma 11, Pokemon Unite, like Smash, all different types of stuff. We're having a lot of fun. A lot of people are enjoying their time in the DB community, so join. Everyone is welcome. And
make sure you go subscribe to this man. He is fantastic. He's putting out some really great content. Please make sure you go and click all the links that will be in the description, top part of the description. And thank you so much for watching or listening. Make sure this podcast is available on YouTube, Spotify, I think Google Podcasts. Hopefully by the time this comes out, we'll see, and eventually Apple Podcasts. So make sure you go and follow it on every platform, stream it on every platform, get me those clicks or whatever.
Please do.
Yes, absolutely. Listen to the man. He's speaking facts.
Yes. Get in the clicks.
All right. Thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you click like. And I think you can rate it at 5 stars on some podcast services. I have no idea. I don't really know what I'm doing. But all right. See you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.